Moving on to the next one will be the settings. So we finished our battery. So let's go ahead and collapse that, lock it, and then unlock settings. So we're moving on to the very next one. I'm going to go ahead and move over in my views to the very next square here. There we go. And we're going to follow the same basic process that we did for the battery. So this one might go even faster for you. So we'll go over to our rectangle tool, click and hold, choose ellipse. We want the fill color, so we want to double click on it. And page 10 of the tutorial, number 6, it says how to create the settings icon. It gives us the color 2196F3. 6F3. And we'll click OK. And that gives us that bluish color. And we want to create a circle now. So we just come into the center here. And it's already 88 by 88 because we did that last time. So just check to make sure that it's accurate. Excuse me. And then go to Selection Tool, the black arrow. Click and drag this up to where it's inside and lined up with this outline for the second. And I'm going to zoom out and show you what I mean. See how the battery's on this side already? So we did that one. Now we're on this second square here. Okay? So I just did Control minus 3 times and then Control plus 3 times. And since I have the circle highlighted, it's zoomed in on the circle. Now that that's done, we can go ahead to step 2. It wants us to make the rectangles for the slider things, the things that go back, like, well, you'll see. So on there we want step 2 on page 11, center slider, creating a 4 by 32 rectangle. And it says you can do a 32 pixel stroke with weight. It's either or. So let's try the first one, rectangle. So let's come over here and we want to click and hold, choose rectangle. It wants the color to be the all S. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I know what I did. I still had the blue circle highlighted. So let's do Control Z. So if you do that, my fault. That was my fault. The next thing we want to do is just create the rectangle. My bad. So let's do Rectangle Tool. And now that we have, I know it's the color there, we're going to change that afterwards. We want to change it to a 4 tab 32. Yeah, see, it's the same color now, but now that it's highlighted, now we can change the color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it's the color that we need. It says it wants it to be 18 pixels from the top. So we just line up to the center top here, and then we want to count with the arrow keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. So 18 pixels from the top edge. Perfect. Now that that's done, step 3 is to create the slider's state indicator, which is just a knob, basically. And it says on page 12, step 3, 12 by 4 rectangle. Okay. So let's click in here. 12, tab 4. Click OK. And it makes that little part there. And it says it wants it 4 pixels from the bottom edge. Okay, use the arrow key and then come down to the bottom here. Line it up and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's exactly 4 pixels away from that slider part there. Okay, so that's step 3. And then step 4, add a lower section of the slider, 4 by 12 rectangle. Got it. So just click. We want 4, tab 12. Click OK. And then we want that, so we use the arrow keys again, to line up with the bottom knob selector thing, just like that. So we have successfully created the center portion of the settings. So let's continue, but I'm going to expand that so you can see we have that rectangle selected there. So it says it wants us to group these three shapes. So remember, to group, we need to select first. So black arrow, and we have the first one selected. Hold down Shift, select that one, and then holding down Shift still, select that one, and Control G, and that groups those together. So now we only have that part showing as a group. So if we want to, we're going to copy this to make it easier for us. So notice that step 5 wants you to create the slider, the selector, and another slider again, and then duplicate that. I'm going to help you out here. Let's do all of this all the way down to step 8 quickly. So we have this group. We have the selection tool, that's the black arrow. We move our cursor to the center and we hold down Alt. Now we're going to click and drag over to the left. Okay. And then we want to make sure that we have the measurements that it wants for that side. It says it wants it to be the same measurements, but the selector, the little part that goes across right here, needs to be up. I'm like, okay, well, how do we do that? Well, simply put, we're going to make them all the same. So let's do that. Let's use this, and we're going to work on just this middle part right here. So we want to ungroup these. Two ways you can do that. One is you can select exactly what you want. Sorry, I'm on the wrong layer. Here we go. Select exactly what you want from here. That's the easiest way, I think, because if you go to move this, notice how I just did 4. I just moved it up 4 like that. Made it really simple to do. It's still in the group, and it's going to be easy for us to flip this later, because we need to flip this over, right? So now that we've done that, again, all I did was select over here on the target and then clicked 4 times with my arrow key upwards. Now I'm going to come back to the group. Notice the group is selected. Here you may right click, transform, and you can reflect or rotate. In this case, if we reflect it horizontally and we check a preview of it, notice how it looks the same as the picture on page 17 on step 8. So we have our slider that's positioned down like it's supposed to be, and it's lined up there. Perfect, right? So we'll click OK. That's good. The next thing you want to do, I'm just collapsing that so it doesn't overwhelm, is come here, right click. You can do another reflect. We'll do a preview. Let's just do vertical, because that way it doesn't seem like it's any different. We're going to copy it, and then with the arrow keys, move it over. So I just made the exact same thing, and it says it wants it 4 points from the edge. So notice how my line right here is lined up with the edge. So we want 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can come back to this group and do the same thing. Notice it's lined up on the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is your settings icon.